Welcome back to the Box2Box podcast. This is episode 35, and today we're going to be covering the biggest matchups of the past weekend.
And we have a massive week in Champions League, a bunch of good games. We're super excited.
All that and more on the Box2Box podcast.
Let's go.
You ain't going home,
Your
bro.
Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry. If we don't compete with City, this is a failure of a season. You've heard it
So
here
I
first.
can already tell you, I'll tell you in advance, you failed.
I'm going to take central midfielder Federico Valverde.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's
He has
crazy.
been the worst midfielder for Real Madrid this season.
That's
by
like saying,
far.
that's like saying Neymar was the worst player in MSN.
So, boys, how was your week? What did you do today?
The week was not that good. I mean, if you look at the results, was not the best week to be a Manchester United fan. But we and you might be wondering right now. You're probably listening. Why did the podcast come out on Tuesday morning? They would be listening to this. Well, we were recording something special on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. So we didn't really have time to record the podcast, but you'll see what we got coming up.
It was for a good reason.
Yeah.
Let's just say that, because we're putting a lot of effort into our YouTube, and the production quality will be going up very shortly.
Yeah, it took us about a month or two to really get it going and planning and everything, but I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised.
It opens up the avenue to many more different type of videos. You know what I mean? Like more general, let's say.
We don't want to give them too much.
Yeah,
we don't want to give them too
obviously not,
much because this is something we want to make sure it simmers a little bit, and then we're gonna roll it out nice for everyone. So,
But obviously, footballing wise, Man United lost. Milan lost. Inter, what did they do?
this was a good weekend, bro.
Yeah,
I
but we
slept
left
nice.
her with something. I mean, Lautaro stinker, so we left her with
As
something.
per usual, bro.
Actually, we're not gonna get into the game or anything right now. I don't think people are listening to hear about my Inter reaction right off the bat. But
Well, I mean, Firms, do you want to just lay it on them? I mean, it was a good week
Pause.
for me in FPL, but for you...
This brother, every time
He's gonna
I
bring it
have
up.
a bad
But
week,
for
this
you,
guy brings it up.
Firms, I mean, going into today's match, he has Bowen, so he kind of did play
I have
well.
Bowen and Cunha.
But
It ain't looking good,
seven
bruv.
points going into the Wolves and West Ham match.
Listen, we all have bad weeks, right?
No, but 7 is not a bad week.
single digits firms. I know. Listen, you're the brother that comes in. You show me your FPL team.
I have a lot of Liverpool players. They didn't play over the weekend.
I have 2, so that's not an excuse either.
Brother, you were
So-
pulling up with 40-point weeks, 50-point weeks.
I still am. This is my only week that
It's just
No,
an off
that's
week.
a lie.
Yes.
That's a lie.
It's an off week.
This brother loves to pinpoint the weeks that I do bad in.
By the
and
way,
it's been 2.
we're tied for first place now. So after all that shit talking,
We're tied, but I have most points.
yeah, but you're shit talking
That's
I'm not
crazy.
shit talking. This is the brother that brings it up every podcast.
because, bro, the champion's been slipping. It's slipping. Let's just say it. Let's just lay it out
This is like
for everyone to hear.
This is like Arsenal being top of the table for
Yes,
270
yes.
days.
So
Yes.
you're saying that he's Man City?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't
We'll
say
see,
nothing
brother.
like that. I'm just making a comparison.
Brother, I have too many good players. Bruno, Odegaard, Trent, Solanke, Onana. Bro, these are all top tier. I have Iwobi.
A lot of
Iwobi's
my-
like a top 10 FPL player this season. I
Iwobi,
picked him
bro.
up for free.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
I'm just waiting to listen. Like West Ham, for example, they haven't had a good season. So Bowen has not been at the level that I'm supposed to believe he's at. You know what I
He's
mean?
been decent.
He's been good.
They just beat Wolves, so I'm assuming that Lopetegui won't be getting sacked, so they will still be shit. So you have to take that into account for Bowen.
Watkins
That's why
hasn't
no
been
one wants
performing as
Bowen.
well. I have Guardiola, KDB.
Look,
What'd you say?
nothing. They have nothing to worry about.
That's why no one wants Bowen, bro.
Literally offered me a trade like a couple of hours ago, by the way.
What are you offering that trade?
Bro, you don't even want to know.
Iwobi and Digne, which is not
For
bad.
Udogie
You're doing-
and Bowen,
You're
which,
doing a lot of
come on.
self-prop on this podcast then.
Bro, Iwobi has more points than Bowen this season in FPL. So
Yeah, but Bowen's the better player. Let's not kid ourselves.
I don't care about better players. I'm not taking into that. That's why your lead's slipping, bro. Because players who get FPL points like Iwobi, where every game guaranteed 90 minutes, Fulham get clean sheets.
You're acting like Bowen doesn't start,
Yeah, sure, but West Ham get piped most games.
but Bowen is a striker.
Piped down like
Slash right
Lily
winger.
Phillips. That's what
Oh,
we're talking
brother,
about.
please. Please, keep it PG. Keep it PG,
We just
please.
lost listeners like that.
We ain't college students, bro. We ain't waiting in line like that. Goodness gracious.
Anyways.
Millie
Anyways.
would be in line.
Bro.
Actually, no, I'm lying.
But I would not be in line, I promise you.
Bro, what the fuck are you
Forget
talking
I'm in a full relationship.
Okay. I say, listen, I'm rocking the kit right now.
Rocking it.
There's a reason for that. Chelsea beat Spurs over the weekend. 4-3. It was a zoovie, let me tell you.
Bit of a zoovie. Was it something you were expecting in this game? I think when we did our predictions, we did expect it to be somewhat high scoring.
Yes.
But I don't think anyone was really expecting
There was the
a
comeback.
4-3 shootout Cole Palmer, two penalties pretty much. Like it was a show.
Palmer.
Pen
That's what
Palmer.
we got to start calling him.
Pen Palmer.
But still an
goodness.
amazing player. But it's
He's
okay.
insane, bro.
Yeah, he is. But Enzo Maresca may be cooking something. I can't cap.
He is.
Do we move
Top
him up?
two right-
Do we move him up in our manager tier list?
Oh, by the way, we got ripped on that
We
video.
did?
Yeah.
We got ripped.
Specifically Firms
Specifically me and Pala.
and Pala. Yes.
Yeah. Which I don't know what I was saying that was so egregious, but
Bro, you put Ange like B in terms of entertainment or some shit.
no, hey.
Bro, he's S. I really don't understand.
But
this is point proven.
Yeah, I know.
Literally in this game, that Ange is S tier in terms of entertainment.
lost.
It
To me,
really doesn't get more entertainment.
Yeah, but to me, S tier is that you also have to win the games.
Yes.
So like Real Madrid Ancelotti, that's S
That's
tier.
not S tier entertainment,
brother.
bro. Ancelotti ball.
They've
Our
given
Real
us a
Madrid
Champions
fans-
League final
our
that was
Real
insane.
Madrid fans in our Discord are literally saying Ancelotti ball is so boring.
But that's the now. Like right now, Ancelotti ball has been boring.
So are we rating? Okay, so let's.
Well,
get
that's what you said.
So Mourinho's an S tier manager right now.
No.
Why?
What do you mean? Right now?
Yeah,
Mourinho.
No.
but Ancelotti's not an S tier manager right now in terms of entertainment.
Overall, he's an A manager.
This
Entertainment is
whatever.
S.
Whatever. We
Yeah, we're
will
not
speak
going
about
into
these
YouTube
two
video.
managers, Spurs and Chelsea, 4-3. I mean, give us a Zuvi. I can't cap. And Jadon Sancho,
Low-key masterclass.
bro, I don't want to say it, but he did play well. But once again, I still stand on my agenda that Jadon Sancho will not be a good Prem player this season.
I mean, you're just going against the grain here, boss.
I'm not going against the grain.
Yes, you are. But
He's a Bundesliga player. He's not a Premier League player. Standing on that.
Listen, if Enzo Maresca puts trust in you, that means you're a good player. Because every
Really giving Enzo Maresca that level amount of aura.
top two in the Prem, brother.
So what? Last year at this point,
4
Ange
points
was-
away from
Ange was
Liverpool,
first in
game
the-
at hand.
Ange was first in the Prem last season at this point.
At this point,
That's
Yeah.
a fact check if I've ever
That's a
seen it.
fact. No,
we
it's
don't
not
got-
a fact check.
unfortunately,
It's a fact.
we don't got producer T to fact check
Yeah,
for us.
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I think Enzo Maresca is cooking, and the fact that people like Jadon Sancho are able to come into the system and look lively again, because obviously we've lost the Jadon Sancho that we've seen in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's cooking, bro. And there's a couple more players here. Unless you want to go into it right away.
I mean, it's up to you, but I think the biggest key here for Chelsea, if we're going to be honest here, Moises Caicedo. Brother, this guy is insane. There's questions now. Do you think Moises Caicedo is the best midfielder in the Premier League?
I can confidently say he's top 3.
He's
All right, he's the best midfielder in the Prem. If we're counting Odegaard as an attacking one, then maybe obviously
better than Odegaard. I can't even cap.
Dude,
I can't
he's more
cap.
valuable, let's say.
Yeah, I can't cap.
Brother, you're saying that because the Arsenal fan ain't here to back that up.
Bro,
He's
Odegaard
got free reign right
Did
now.
we not just see Odegaard's game against Fulham? I have an FPL,
Yeah.
so trust me, I was watching. Brother literally did nothing for
he
90
was
minutes.
No, what?
He did nothing.
He had a couple of good passes, the through the line passes that he does with his like left foot.
The bar is in hell for being
No.
the best midfielder in the Premier League. The bar is in hell.
It's hard-
I thought he made He made a couple passes with his foot, bro. What? Like obviously he made the passes with his foot. What? He's gonna throw the ball to the other
You
team?
know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean. The difference here is that Moises Caicedo is obviously not gonna get the GA that maybe Odegaard gets, but I think his contribution in defense for Chelsea has been insane this season. Without him, they would be conceding way more than they are right now.
Are we putting him in the same tier as Rodri?
Rodri's a little crazy, but Declan Rice is there. You have a Declan Rice.
Rodri or Declan Rice or Moises Caicedo? Which one would you take?
Right now,
I think you
I
still
know
have
the
to.
answer.
I think you still have to take Rice on this one. I don't see why you don't take him with the consistency he's shown over the last season and a half. Even in his West Ham days, brother, you could go back. He's got the CV right now. I would go with him.
could go back and see Caicedo's CV at Brighton. Got them in a Europa League spot.
We were speaking to a Chelsea fan recently, and he said he would rather sell Cole Palmer than Moises Caicedo. That's what he said.
I find that's egregious.
That's egregious,
You
yeah.
got the face of, listen, Moises Caicedo, I think he's definitely up there as one of the best in the Premier League. But you have Cole Palmer, who's like he's in the conversation to be like top 10 in the world on his day, pretty much. If you think about it.
Better than
Yeah.
any Inter player, that's for sure.
No problem, bro. I really don't care. It's not really a
So
comparison.
what we're
to me.
saying is that Chelsea now has a couple of world-class players.
Well, now
They're-
that project is starting to really come to fruition now. Then you have Estevao that's going to come a little
but
later
come
into
on,
a
let's
nice
be-
system.
Like Jamie Carragher said, this isn't no underdog story. They spent 1.2 billion. Like it's not like it's some team that came from, oh my god, they're nothing to
Rags to riches, Leicester.
Yeah, exactly.
But we did count them out. At the beginning of the season, nobody would think they would be
Sure,
top 3.
but the team is still spent 1.2 billion on. This is not like insanely good management that did this.
But this is Enzo Maresca putting the final pieces that like he had the puzzle pieces. He's putting it all together now. All these other managers, 2-3 managers, it took to figure out whether or not these pieces fit. Enzo Maresca comes in 6-7 months. He's figuring out, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't. So I think this is the full credit to Enzo Maresca right now. And you cannot deny like a Jamie Carragher. I'm sure when he heard Enzo Maresca coming into Chelsea, he didn't think, oh, this is going to be a success.
Exactly.
Right off the bat. The fact that they're second place right now in the Premier League just shows that Enzo Maresca is putting everything together, in my opinion. I think this has been a very, very
successful season so far.
So far. I wouldn't want to call it a success right now because the season's not over. But to this point, I think they're definitely exceeding expectations.
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, spending $1 billion on your team, I find it makes the challenge even more difficult, no?
More pressure, in my opinion.
You've seen, like, PSG fail with that. They have never won a Champions League, you know what I mean? So, in the Prem, you have all that pressure because you're spending that much money. You have all these up-and-coming players like Caicedo, Nico Jackson that you're relying on. And yet, you're still succeeding. So, honestly, props to Maresca. He's been cooking.
Yeah, but, like, he's been cooking. But once again, Caicedo, not like they unearthed some gem. That brother was 100 million. Okay,
He was 100 million.
So,
but I think Chelsea fans would tell you that they did overspend on him.
I honestly, looking back now, it's more like the Enzo Fernandez has been playing well the last month and a half. But once again, 100 million. Like these players aren't. Cole Palmer was the only one where and Nico Jackson was like, okay,
steal.
that's a very good deal.
How
But
much
all
was
the other
Nkunku?
ones, bro? Wesley Fofana is an $80 million player. He's not worth 80 million, but that's their
that's
starting
their paid.
center back, 80 million. And Nkunku was 60 million or 50 million. Like, and that's their backup striker. Like, he has way more resources than 99% of managers have.
I mean,
I don't know. I find there's too much emphasis on price tags. Like you could have spent 100 million on any single player in the world. Doesn't mean that it's not indicative of their actual like ability. There's players that you could tell is a clear
you're not going to go and
overspend.
spend 100 million on, let's say, like Wataru Endo. Like if
Yes.
Liverpool had 100 million, Wataru Endo would not be spending it on them.
I agree, but you can't fault, let's say, an Enzo Maresca and say, well, he's actually not doing that good because he inherited $1 billion team that like the players are actually playing how they're supposed to be. That's his credit to actually making them play the way they're supposed to be, because you saw for a year and a half, 2 years that these players, brother, I remember last season or the
Towards the
season
end of
before.
the season, Chelsea were cooking.
under Poch?
Under Poch,
Yeah.
but people still had doubts about the ability of these players. Now it's like it's fully in front of everyone's eyes that are like, okay, yeah, these players are good. And then you have a Carragher coming in saying, oh, well, they were worth
I'm sure
$1 billion.
Carragher had him outside of the top 4.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably did.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't want to spread misinformation.
I mean,
like
I
that.
had them like 8th. So
I don't know where I think I had them maybe
We all
5th
had
or
them
6th.
pretty low. 5th or 6th, 7th, maybe.
I don't know.
I heard it from our Chelsea fan friends that
They've been clipping it, let's just say.
yeah. I had Man United what again? 3rd, 2nd,
Second.
Second.
Oh,
I had 'em
whatever.
Had 'em back
Let me
shot
cook.
too.
Actually, no, I had them 3rd. I remember I had them.
I had them either 3rd or 4th. I forget what I had.
But on the other side, Ange, he gave us a very entertaining game. They did score 3 goals, but they have a lot of injuries. And I was going to ask you guys, like, should they target someone in this January transfer window? Like, what are we looking at?
Maybe a center back with Romero out for 6 weeks now, and I mean, I think Van de Ven came off with another injury on
That guy's pulled
Sunday.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, that guy's pulled
But I mean, because if you think about it, it makes sense that these injuries are piling up for center backs, because if you're playing a high line, and this might happen to Barcelona too, if you're playing such an extreme high line, your center backs are always bursting 40-yard sprints or 50-yard sprints. That's bound for hamstring injuries.
Yeah, you're demanding a lot physically of them.
Yeah, so it's not a surprise that these center backs are getting injured. So to play a super high line, you need four, even 5, maybe really good center backs at your club. And now, right now, Spurs only have 2.
Yeah, it's
and
Dragusin.
Dragusin has not been as good since you Syria hipsters hyped him up like he's some.
Brother, I thought he was straight cheeks. I don't
Yeah,
know what you're
okay,
talking
yeah,
I
about.
don't know about straight cheeks, but he's a good defender. He's just maybe
Napoli was
missing
twerking for this brother.
That's Nabel.
Yeah, but then they went for Buongiorno. and-
Buongiorno's better.
But Buongiorno was universally known as a very, very good defender and one, you know what I mean? So
I don't know. I think if they went for a center back, I'm trying to think of which center backs could potentially be available. Like, I know he's been linked to Barca, and it's kind of a step up, but like a Jonathan Tah at Leverkusen.
Yeah, but they would have to actually pay for him. And
Yeah.
people like teams are just waiting for the free.
Did you guys see the transfer offer that Bayern sent Jonathan Tah, and that got obviously rejected by the board of Bayern because it
What,
was
it
so
was like-
egregiously bad?
What?
They offered him like a salary of like almost 15 to 18 mil.
Yeah, but now Barca are in that race too. So it makes sense
That's
that
crazy.
Yeah, no, but Bayern, the upper
Offered him
management
the
said,
bank.
"What are you doing? That's an offer that get it out of the table because that's
Cancelled.
the guy's not worth whatever the fuck you're paying."
But who's making that offer?
Eberl.
Yeah,
Eberl.
the
I don't know.
sporting director.
But I don't know if that was. I think he left last season. So yeah, no, this is definitely Eberl. But he used to be the Leipzig director, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening at Bayern. Bayern low key are not that club
Not moving
anymore
as
that
They don't have the
moves
same
smart all
aura.
the time.
They don't have the same aura
Like
as they used to.
look, I'm reading Alphonso Davies. You to go for real. Put on Canada on the map. But some of these numbers I'm reading for Alphonso Davies is kind of crazy for a left back.
as a salary.
Yeah, like I'm
What are we
seeing
talking
over
about?
300K a week.
Yeah, but listen.
He has the
You're-
track record
You're in the
to
best
prove
in the
it. Look.
world at your position on your day.
Luke Shaw still exists, but yes.
You think Luke Shaw deserves 300,000 a week?
By the way, you said DiMarco has the best left foot in
Best
the
left
world,
foot,
but
and
Alphonso
he's up
Davies
there.
is left-footed. So
And DiMarco's low-key actually better left-footed than Alphonso Davies, but I
But
digress.
technical ability.
I digress. We don't have to get into it. Joe.
But if you give Alphonso Davies, look, I respect when a brother gets a bag, so I won't hate
course,
it.
especially
Putting
one of our
Canada
Canadian
on the
dogs.
map.
Cinema.
I'm putting
Canadian
Canada, putting Canada on the map, but 300 bags for Alphonso Davies is kind of crazy. But next thing you know, this is gonna get clipped when Alphonso Davies signs for Manchester United for like 375 a week.
enjoy it, bro.
If anyone is to offer that amount, it's probably Manchester United.
Yeah, because honestly, like at Bayern and at Real Madrid, he's not really like the
superstar.
superstar face of the franchise type level player. Under Amorim, bro, in that left wing back, he will actually be getting in the final third, like actually cook. So if there is a club to give him that, I would say Manchester United have the best reason to give him that. But once again, you're not living in Madrid. You're not living in well, actually Madrid, Munich. What's the difference, bro? I went to
Madrid,
Munich,
Munich, bro.
I
I'll
went
tell
to
you the
Munich.
difference.
Oh no, not Madrid. Manchester, Munich.
Yeah.
I went to Munich.
Same vibe.
We gotta
Nice.
go to Manchester. London was beautiful.
Yeah.
London was great.
Manchester, I'm not
Like,
sure how it looks.
you know what? It was one of those things like you go in person, you're like, you know what? I kind of get it
This is
now.
better than I thought.
I
Yeah.
kind
You
of
know
get
what I
it
mean?
now. Like a brother who goes to Chelsea.
Yeah.
These
Or
brothers
even,
made
like,
fun of
Tottenham.
London before we went to London.
Bro, we're Italian. Come
Bro,
on.
you like
We've seen everything.
You're comparing apples and oranges, in my opinion.
know what I mean?
Like when you have Manchester as the spot.
Like
that's crazy to
When
me.
I'm picking my vacations, I look at the Amalfi Coast. I look at the
Yeah, but bro,
the
there's,
boot.
there's brothers
Yeah.
that have told me they went to Milan and outside of like 4 blocks, that city's a shithole.
Milan
Yeah, but
is not the
Milan's
nicest
is
city.
an outlier in my opinion
Yes.
because you go there as a shopper.
Yeah.
You go there to spend money. You're not
Very-
there to like enjoy life.
Okay, yeah, but like let's say you go to Napoli.
Napoli could be very
is
nice.
very nice.
Yes.
Completely different experience. That
But you're
any city
thinking
you've
like
ever-
you're thinking of like Napoli, like centro, like right down the middle, like Spanish quarters and everything like
beautiful though.
that. It's gorgeous.
Good food, good vibes.
I
But
don't know,
vibes.
That's not the vibes I've been seeing online. But, it's okay. But yeah, back to Spurs. I mean, who should they
Yes.
buy? I mean, I'm thinking of center backs. Like I'm saying, you should target like maybe some Leverkusen center backs, maybe potentially available, like Hincapie or
I actually see that
Kosunu.
fit.
Well, Kosunu went to Atalanta, so I don't know.
The,
but
the
yeah,
problem the problem is that like January is such a weird transfer window where it's like, okay, yes, you have the opportunity to make a signing, but it's you're either spending a bag to get a player off a very good team
Mm-hmm.
like halfway through the season, or it's you're trying to find like an easy pickup from a lower table team.
steal.
Because the thing is that at the end of the day, top clubs aren't really selling players in January.
Bro, if you want some United players, bro, hit my line, bro. We got
Yeah,
a bunch.
that's-
We got a
that's
bunch.
different.
You
Got
could
a
buy.
bag to offer.
Like
Yeah.
but it's mostly dead wood that they usually deal off. You know what I
Another
mean?
man's garbage. One
Another
man's garbage is another man's treasure, bro.
Mm.
Anthony Spurs, write it on the books.
Bro, low key.
Already
Right.
confirmed.
Right wing. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Kulusevski backup. I already see it.
Tottenham already have one Brazilian winger bust, and they don't need another one.
Who?
Richarlison.
Not a
Richarlison.
winger, but yeah, sure.
Well, striker.
Same vibe, bro.
You wouldn't say they need a midfielder though. I feel like they're lacking in mid.
No, I think Papemate Sarr hasn't been bad, bro. It's
Zuma.
it's really just you can't go into Prem games with Ben Davies and Dragusin as your center back pairing. You can't.
That's the problem.
And even
I see it.
before Romero went off injured, they played well defensively.
Yeah.
They weren't bad. So I'm just saying that team is held by one center back. It's a one center
Yeah.
back team, which is crazy.
He is world class though.
Yeah. And this obviously leads to the question where will they finish, do you guys think, by the end of the year? Because for me, honestly, right now, at the vibes at the club, it's kind of comparable to Man United. Who do you see finishing higher in the table, Manchester United or Spurs?
I would say United, only because you guys made your major changes earlier. Because Tottenham, like, it's a bit of a gamble at a certain point. I think that question of like, are you Ange in or Ange out, like, it grows larger every time a result like this happens. I'm not saying they played bad versus Chelsea. I think that was just like, it was just a very entertaining game and they were on the wrong side of it. But like, that question is still lingering. Like, is it an Ange out situation? But whereas Manchester United, you see, okay, they axed Ten Hag when they needed to.
Yeah, they were all out.
Yeah, they were like, okay, no.
When we needed to axe Ten Hag was the summer.
Yes.
Back now, but
yes. But you still did it earlier than Spurs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Spurs are kind of still riding that wave.
Would you think that they're going to finish above... Let's go like the weaker teams in the top 10. Nottingham Forest. Do we see Nottingham Forest staying in the top 10
No.
region? I think
It's
they're
possible.
a good team, bro.
They're a very
It's
good team.
possible.
They're very solid.
Yeah, I think they're going to finish lower than Nottingham Forest, personally.
But where
don't
are they on
know.
the table right now?
Right now, Spurs are 9th or 10th.
Okay, and Man United is?
13th.
13th or
13th?
12th or something like that.
That I know off the top of
And
the
Nottingham is 6th?
Nottingham, no,
Seventh?
Nottingham's 5th or 6th.
Can we just check this?
I don't have my phone. My phone's
it's up
not
there.
there.
Okay, it's okay then.
But then we have teams like Brighton that...
See, now, Brighton, in my opinion, could go further than Spurs. Because I think they have the depth, and that's something that Spurs, for some reason, like, they're not able to utilize.
Well, no, Spurs
have depth.
Once again, Spurs have
Bergvall,
depth. It's
Archie
just
Gray,
when they
but-
play, it's because Brighton play once a week. So
Yes.
you're comparing
Yeah,
apples
that's
and
what I was-
oranges,
yeah.
bro. You're comparing apples. I hate when people say that a team that plays once a week has depth. They don't have depth. They just play once a week.
Yeah, they have enough to
No,
get
Brighton
through
have a
season.
shit ton of players, but once again, come 6 months down the line, when Yakuba Minte, who signed for 40 million in the summer, gets barely any play time or 15 minutes off the bench each game, that player won't be happy. He will demand a transfer in the summer.
Yeah, but that's the depth. I mean, they're still playing in the end. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, but there's cup ties. There's European. You have Conference League, Europa League, Champions League.
Van de Ven and Romero would not have injuries right now if they were playing
One game a week. Yeah,
There's no muscle fatigue. There's
Quite a hypothetical, I think.
I don't think so. I don't. I think these players are playing very, very long seasons.
especially the injuries that Van de Ven is getting, hamstring injuries. That's because you're playing
Fatigue.
2-3.
But that's been a
week,
recurring issue, I'd say.
because
Since he
Spurs play
joined.
multiple times a week. Some players' bodies can't take that workload.
Especially with Ange's style of play, right? We always talk about the high line, and Varro was saying about like that burst of pace every time they're very physically demanding. Do that twice a week, even 3 times a week, possibly. It's like
Look
it's
at what
very
Enzo
difficult.
Maresca said about Reece James. He can't play 2 games a week anymore.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm literally only going to play you once a week. That's max," and he still got injured. But then
That's crazy,
players
man.
like Luke Shaw, even Amorim, as soon as he came in, he said, "Luke Shaw, exceptional player. England and Manchester United are lucky to have him, but we need to take into account his workload and everything
Yeah.
because we can't." They're fragile. They're fragile players.
So I don't know. I feel like maybe they might slip. If they have all these competitions going on, I don't know. It's hard to juggle with.
Yeah, they have
I'm
Europa
talking about
League.
Spurs.
They have Europa League.
Yeah, it's hard to juggle.
I don't know. They're in a tough spot. Right? I feel like they're like in a gray zone.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what do we need to do to, let's say, revive this season? Like, do we make a big change now? It's tough. Maybe you just wait it out till January, see where you reevaluate, and then you go into it. But
Yeah.
anyways, we could go into the next Premier League match. Unfortunately, Varvar, since you are on the podcast with us, we have no choice. We have no choice, honestly.
The brother did not want to talk about Manchester United.
He begged
today.
us not to talk about it too. But
Begged.
we had to. Manchester United. Listen, we could start with the Arsenal game. Start with we start with the
I wasn't
Nottingham
that
game.
mad with the Arsenal game. to be
Arsenal game,
honest.
we did the live stream, right?
Yeah.
Which, that was fun.
Very fun.
And
to
if you
do.
guys missed out on that, we do.
We do.
We do live streams once in a while for games that we really like, are excited for. We had the Club World Cup draw also. But yeah, games that we are really excited for, we're gonna start doing some live streams for. So
Yeah.
Maybe
And that-
Champions League 2, you
yeah,
never know.
And that was one of them.
Game weeks. Yeah, that was
And
definitely one of them.
That was
because
the first one we
inaugural.
did. Yeah,
Inaugural
first
live
Manchester
stream.
United that blessed the channel.
It's a
So
success.
Yeah.
and it ended up not a success for him. It was ended up being
Success for everyone
2-0.
else.
2 goals off of 2 corners.
Arsenal.
Brothers can't defend.
That is a major issue because even Nottingham Forest, that first corner that they got, I saw the players moping into the box like, oh, they
They're not
aren't
sharp.
activated. They're
They're
not
not sharp.
activated.
Yeah, they weren't there mentally.
And I felt like texting the group chat, like as soon as I saw them like going like this, I'm like, bro, watch Nottingham Forest score from this corner. Because, bro, you see top level teams.
They're jumping on their
communicating.
toes.
You need to be there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be there. Like you even saw who was I watching this weekend? Oh, I forget. But someone kicked the ball out and they were celebrating, and the captain told them, "Get the fuck back in
Yeah,
here. We have a
pretty much.
fucking corner to defend. What the fuck are you
course.
doing?"
Celebrating.
Like us, our players are not mentally there. They're not mentally activated. That's why for me it's a mentality issue at the club. For us, we have too many players that are there that are comfortable just picking up a paycheck every week. And I'm not saying that all the players are like that. I think we have players that are activated, like Amorim said, Mason Mount. Definitely, that brother is
He's a
activated.
big fan of his.
Lisandro Martinez, I agree, cannot play center back. Or, in my opinion, and this is going to be crazy because usually center backs, this is like the complete opposite. Don't put that brother in the box on a corner.
The allegations, brother.
Bro, he basically Leach was the reason.
unconventional.
He was basically the main
Why
reason why they
Milenkovic
scored off
scored.
that corner. Yeah, because then
100% got dunked
because then
on.
De Ligt ends up like he has to jump over Licha just to get to Milenkovic.
Yeah, but it's zonal marking.
Yeah.
But what, like, you obviously
But then where do you put Lisandro?
open
edge of the
play.
box.
You just, but that's why you need to, let's
He's
say,
not a fast guy.
yeah, but the issue is
counter?
that, like, let's say like Menu 6'2", like Ugarte. In my opinion, we should go buy a 6'4" CDM. That and I'm not saying they grow on trees.
just grow
because
off trees, bro.
Rodri doesn't grow on trees.
They just
let's
grow
say.
off trees.
But an
Like a
aerially
Merino
dominant
type.
CDM where you could go and put Lisandro, let's say, on a less important player, a less important zone within your zonal marking, where on corners it doesn't get exposed. Because I don't feel like an open play gets exposed that much. His height. It's just set pieces
Set
that
pieces,
really,
it really
like,
gets exposed.
glares.
Yeah.
So if you're against, let's say Amorim says, no, Leach is really important to my team, like he has to stay, then I would say potentially think about going to get a midfielder that's one of those really tall midfielders.
I mean,
Like an Amadou Onana or something like that.
Yeah, that would have helped.
So,
That would have helped.
I think you just missed the boat on that one.
yeah, but
But I mean, defensively, you guys have. I actually don't have a lot of tall players. I mean, Mazraoui is not that tall either.
Maguire, as soon as Maguire came in, we did
Well,
not lose a
Maguire
header for the
does
rest
help.
of the game.
Yeah. That
But
guy's-
Maguire for me should play over De Ligt. I'm just gonna say it, and I've been saying this for years, to be honest. Maguire's a better player than De Ligt. But De Ligt we got for a
bro.
good price. 40 mil for De Ligt's not a bad deal.
It's not a terrible
So
deal.
I'm not mad against signing De Ligt. I'm just saying, for me, I've always loved Harry Maguire.
I don't think.
And you guys know this.
ever
You've known
said-
this before I
don't-
started
yeah.
the channel.
Yes,
I've been saying Maguire's
you've
good.
been a Maguire
Aficionado.
enjoyer.
Got too much hate for way too long.
Yes, I agree because I do think Maguire is a good center back, but to say I don't think you've ever said that Maguire was ever better than De Ligt.
I said this while he was at Juve.
But does that then?
yeah, that's because the
Yeah.
motivation.
No, even I just believe it, bro. Like De Ligt is Maguire, but makes, and this is more mistakes. Like, and he's less imposing on players. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but Maguire, like
Maguire
going up
doesn't
for a
give a
header,
fuck.
I feel way more comfortable
Yes.
with Maguire than De Ligt.
Because it feels like Maguire would put his body more on the line than De Ligt. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is. It might be a mentality thing, but Maguire's just like a proper English lad. He just goes into
Might
it.
even be the chemistry between your center backs right now. Like,
Yeah.
Euro started that game, no?
Yeah, I liked how he played. I don't think he did anything bad, but he didn't do anything
crazy
For
either,
me,
though.
the one thing that I really liked about Euro in that Arsenal game when he went 1v1 with Trossard and locked him up,
Yeah.
like that really okay.
He's
we
there.
might
Calma.
we might have something to build off of here because how many center backs you think can go wide? 6'3" center backs, by the way, can go wide. You're talking about Rolls Royce territory there. I'm not saying he's there yet. I'm not saying he's there
No,
yet.
he's not there yet.
But
on the path.
yeah,
On the
But
path.
I do believe he might work better as like the central one because out wide, I feel like with Amad Diallo, like it's kind of tough, like on the
I
right wing.
disagree personally.
You
I
think it works, like their
Yeah.
combination there?
Yeah.
Like I feel Mazraoui was better as a right
But
center back.
Euro, obviously, Euro's not the finished product. I mean, he's 19 and just got transferred from Ligue 1. Like, he's not the like, this is not the finished article. But
There's years
he
to
could
come.
be a bit better on the ball, obviously. He can be, not going to say better, he's very safe on the ball right now. He can be more aggressive. He can try that pass. And Amorim said this in his press conferences. He said, like, it's like they're trying to play perfect all the time, that they're trying to find the perfect pass when sometimes the perfect
Doesn't
pass doesn't
exist.
exist. Just make
Doesn't
the good
exist.
pass.
Yeah, exactly.
So There's a lot of mental blocks in our team right now. All the players are playing scared. I think they're scared of making mistakes.
But new manager comes in
Yeah,
and really
exactly.
decides if you're if you're going to be given minutes or not. But off of that Arsenal game, like you're thinking, okay, maybe they could rebound against Nottingham Forest, but then
They did not.
They did not necessarily rebound it. But
I don't
is that
think we
down?
played terrible.
Yes, I don't think Manchester United played terrible at all. It was just obviously like we spoke
Individual
about.
Individual mistakes.
Oh,
Onana
man.
disaster class.
These were egregious.
I
glad you
hold
agree.
my hands up
Glad
high
you
when
agree.
Onana drops a disaster class. I will say it. This was an Onana disaster class.
But I don't think the thing is that we were speaking about this off camera where like how does this a performance like this, where does that put Onana amongst the top goalkeepers, like the best goalkeepers in the world? I still think he's definitely up there because the problem with Onana is, and it was the same at Inter, it was he could have fantastic games, but when he has like an off
Stinker.
game or a stinker,
It costs his team.
oh brother, it's like an egregious stinker. It's a terrible stinker.
But that's why what I was saying is that for goalies, you need to be like a consistent like 7, for example.
So you're telling me if I go and find the clip of you saying Ederson's a top 5 goalie in the world, Ederson drops
is-
mistakes consistently.
But Ederson has warranted to be a top.
Why? Because his
Because
team wins?
yes.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
but
he's a
it
product
also
of the
helps-
environment.
It also helps when you had Kyle Walker, you had Ruben
Yes,
Diaz, you
I
had John
agree.
Stones in front of you. Like it makes a lot
but
of a
look at
difference.
Alisson.
Yeah,
Alisson is a consistent
Alisson- yeah,
Van
nine.
I
Dijk,
agree.
Van Dijk, Konate,
Yeah.
Trent, Robertson in
But
front
I've
of him
always said
for years.
Alisson is better than Ederson.
But Allison now is getting that Magnan pulled pork.
Yeah, he's
A little bit,
He's always
yeah.
been a little bit injury prone. Even at
Yeah.
Rome, I remember.
Yeah.
So at what point we use it against for players, we have to start using it against for goalies. We're lucky. Liverpool's lucky they have an insanely good backup because if they didn't, low key could have derailed their season. That Alisson.
That shows the levels. I mean,
I don't know.
Keller-
Liverpool really don't look that worse with Keller. Or
No, I agree. I think Keller has been insane. I've seen tweets of people saying that he should be starting for the next couple of games. Even if
I
Alisson's
do think
back.
he's warranted.
Yeah.
I do think he's warranted. But Alisson is the definite.
But even
definite number
keepers
one.
like Donnarumma, for example, that I've seen at Milan and I've seen for Italy, he has like masterclass performances and then he just drops a stinker and it makes you reevaluate him.
completely. Onana's way better than Donnarumma.
That's crazy to say.
No,
in my
because
opinion.
Donnarumma is the only thing he's good at is shot stopping. Only thing. The only thing he's good at.
Can't play with the ball at his
No,
feet.
Exactly.
he's quick
Onana's
feet.
flawless playing
Yes.
with the ball at his feet.
I mean, he made
I wouldn't
a
say
couple
flawless,
mistakes.
but
Okay,
During that
I
Arsenal
won't
game,
say
he made a couple
flawless, but
mistakes.
he's in the top 5, top 10 goalies in the world with the ball at his feet.
he's a good ball
Bro,
player. Yeah.
he's top 3, top like I'd say he's up there
In
as one of the
shot
best.
stoppers, this season, going back to obviously last year's CL was terrible. I won't even
But
acknowledge
that just
it.
pinpoints that. That's just
Yeah,
highlighting.
exactly. In the Premier League last season, he was a top 2, top 3 shot stopper, and up until that game against Nottingham Forest, he was the best shot stopper in the Prem this
He's
year.
been insane this season.
So you're putting top 2, 3 shot stopper in the Prem last year and a top 2, 3 on the ball. I will accept one mistake once in a while that costs us a game. I will accept that when we have way bigger holes in probably 9 or 8 of the other positions on the field.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. If you're world class, you can't make these mistakes.
That's wrong.
Alisson doesn't
Goalies
make
make
these
mistakes, bro. The
When
only
he's
goalie I
given-
will accept is Courtois because Courtois and Alisson are the only 2 goalies.
They don't make
other,
mistakes, but that's why they're top 2, top 3.
They make mistakes.
Yeah, but
bro.
Onana, I feel like I don't know the statistics behind this, but I feel like the distribution of like possession between goalkeepers, I feel like Onana has an insanely higher percentage of like possession.
But that's because they play through him. Every game he has the ball.
But then that leads to obviously the more you have the more you have of something, the more opportunities there
Yeah,
are
but I mean,
of messing up.
This goal against the Nottingham Forest, he didn't have the ball.
Oh,
It was
no,
just
but
a
that's-
stupid.
no, but
I don't understand how you don't save that.
It was that shot that he kind of moved.
Yeah,
that sent-
it swerved. But even Gibbs White after the game in his press conference said, "Yeah, Andre was a top goalie, but I don't know how he didn't save that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. That probably sucks for Onana. But then there was that obviously that what was it, like a cross that
cross,
came in
and then he missed the
and it was
ball.
just a miscommunication with the defenders.
I wouldn't put that fully on him, but he's part of the issue.
He is
there.
part of the
Yeah.
issue because that's a goalkeeper that has to come out and
Yeah.
basically come out there and get that. with
and
two
then
hands.
at the end of the game, where he was trying to give that free kick,
Yeah,
trying
that
to
was
take that
stupid.
free kick.
I'm
Like,
like,
he's just
bro,
trying to steal the ball.
Took
No,
40
he's trying to
seconds
get
to take
every
one.
single small little yard, bro.
Yeah.
We need time, bro. But whatever. That didn't change the result of the game.
No, it
That's
didn't.
Whatever. That's just a bit annoying. But
yeah, it's just
once
awareness.
again, and you pile it on, you're okay. We got 2 losses. Then they dropped this absolute bomb on us that the sporting director that Ineos spent all of last year coveting, Dan Ashworth, gets sacked. Now, I did my due diligence because I knew I was going to give my opinion on this on the podcast, okay? Do I think they made the right decision? After what I read, I do think they made the right decision, okay?
After what you read,
You're
that's what it
you're
took.
blind
It's just,
backing.
No, it's not blind. I think they made the wrong decision by appointing him. They
That
didn't,
is not what you
The
were.
right or
That's
wrong?
not
no,
what
but
you
once
said when
again,
you came
yes,
in,
but
brother.
once again, as with most things, once it's done, you get a lot more information on how things were run in the background. Everyone in English football propped Dan Ashworth up as this transfer guru. And yes. Once he got to there, Ineos were like, okay, so like you're gonna be this transfer guru and you're gonna lead the summer for us. And he got there and he's like, yeah, so I'm more of like this behind the scenes guy. I don't really do this. He doesn't know many people in the footballing
Fake it
world.
till you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
literally faked it till he made it.
And bro, when you're reading that, instead of Amorim, he wanted Southgate or he wanted Eddie Howe. You're kind of getting to like the
that's
okay, this
questioning.
This guy's kind of stupid.
And he was the guy who wanted to keep Ten Hag, I believe.
yeah, he in the summer, the only reason why we kept Ten Hag was because Sir Jim Ratcliffe was for sacking Ten Hag.
Yes.
But when Ashworth said, "Yeah, no, I think we should actually keep him. I think he would do best." They were about
They
to
went
appoint. Fabrizio Romano mentioned these two names specifically. He said De Zerbi and Tuchel were very close.
Wow.
That would have been nice. That would have been a season changer.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I still think that there's major holes. But supposedly our owner Dan Ratcliffe was really not happy with the summer. That's what was said.
But he has the opportunity to like I'm sure like veto a sporting director's decisions. At the end of the
I
day,
don't think
you're
he's
the
mad
owner.
with the
if you
signings.
start-
I think he's mad with the sales. I don't think he's players like Anthony are still here. There's like all these
Yes,
players
that
that
were
were
considered
considered
dead
dead
wood.
wood at the end of
Yeah.
last season are still here. And you didn't change the manager. So if you're gonna consider them dead wood last season or dead wood this season too,
Yeah, nothing's gonna change
Exactly.
unless they have like some sort of epiphany.
Like it's not like I don't know. I really don't know. But supposedly we're upgrading this guy Christopher Vivel, who used to be at RB Leipzig, went to Chelsea, signed Nkunku, signed
Hipster
which
FC.
other player? Which other players did he sign? He signed Badiashile, he signed Nkunku, and he signed one more than my friends.
Where's this? At
Chelsea?
Leipzig?
At Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, and then at Leipzig,
He's already at Manchester United.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
already there.
Okay.
He was there from the summer, and now they're making him like. Ornstein said he's
sporting
going to be very involved.
Okay.
So
So you guys are running with no sporting.
yeah,
director,
it's not like
pretty
it's not like we didn't have anyone lined up. We had someone already behind him that could step up and take his spot.
That's
So-
smart. That's smart. But it's crazy because then I guess that's on ownership again for not doing their due diligence on.
Why, that's
least
where they
they're
made
moving
the
quick.
issue.
Yeah, that was the mistake because then how do you not know this guy is a more behind the scenes quote unquote until he comes in through the door and you already signed the contract.
And Manchester United and the owner specifically said this when he was coming in, that we want to be top of the data analysis in the world. Like we want to be top of that game where we can unearth young players. And then as soon as he came in, they thought they were getting this forward-thinking data analysis sporting director.
Guys, just
he
straight
came
vibes.
in. No. He came in and
Straight
was like,
Excel sheets.
we should outsource our data analysis. Like
So-
have someone do
But-
it for us.
So
is
just-
that bad? I don't think that's horrible.
that's bad.
yeah, but when
you bring in
Ratcliffe
someone
comes
that's
out-
expert in that.
Yes,
No, but you're not
if-
bringing in. You're
not
taking it out.
exactly.
You're outsourcing
It's- you-
it.
like Liverpool. Liverpool this summer went and got Edwards. Edwards used to work at Liverpool when they won the CL. Left because he had disagreements with Klopp, and then built his own data analysis company that a bunch of clubs could use. And then when Liverpool offered him the job this summer, he said, "Okay, I'll pick my manager off of pure data." Picked Arne Slot, which seems like to be a very
working
good
out.
analogy.
Yeah, I saw that thing that they had a couple of
Yeah,
managers.
it was
outlined.
Amorim. It was
Yeah.
Amorim and Slot
And someone
So,
else.
Yeah, who?
Fonseca.
No, it wasn't.
I'm gonna
Trying to get involved in the
I'm
conversation.
but yeah.
gonna send you the article.
Gazzetto dello balls on my sack,
it was
bro.
a Liverpool article, and the data analysis showed that there was
The
Amorim,
Liverpool Sun or some
Amorim,
bullshit.
Fonseca, Inzaghi was in there, and Slot. But then they went through a whole analysis like back three wouldn't work at Liverpool because they've never played it
I
in the
agree.
past. So they took out Inzaghi, they took out Amorim, and it was left Fonseca,
No,
Slot,
I
and
don't know.
someone else.
Supposedly they were deep in conversations with Amorim, like deep in negotiations.
Yeah, they were. They
But
were.
they didn't want to pay the release clause to Sporting.
I saw that the managerial
Whatever.
it wouldn't work.
All this to say, Fonseca wasn't involved. He's just trying to involve
I'll
himself.
send you the article later, and you guys better believe
I won't
me.
read it.
Crazy work. That's how you work. Crazy.
But yeah, I'm not opposed to sacking Ashworth. It's just sad that it got to that point because, bro,
You
this
wasted-
guy scammed us. Yeah.
Yeah, you
and we
wasted a whole
waited.
year.
We waited too. There was gardening leave. We waited like 6 months for this brother
Yeah,
to show
so you
up.
wasted about a year and a half, 2
So
years.
looking back at your transfers, would you say that he succeeded or he failed?
No.
Like
Well,
Xerxes for 40
transfers
million.
in?
Yeah, Xerxes for 40 million, I would not redo. But
There's a couple. Mazraoui you would redo.
oh, Mazraoui,
Yeah, that's easy.
Mazraoui would be worth whatever we paid for him plus Xerxes' price. So for that, honestly, I think that was a Ten Hag signing. I don't even think that was like that's crazy. I think Ten Hag specifically asked for him, and that
Ten Hag called him in.
like him and the only ones I can say I really like so far are Euro and Mazraoui.
Euro, we've seen 2 games.
Yeah, but Euro.
yeah, but he's more of a long-term project. You know what? For what he's shown.
Amarim, number one, and Fabrizio Romano, the glaze is unreal. I keep mentioning Fabrizio Romano. Said, bro, Amarim, when he came to the club, mentioned Lenny Yoro's like a pillar of his, when he was in negotiations with Ineos, he's like the pillar of his project.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's there. You gotta give him time. And
So
that's
60
one
mil,
of those
I would
things,
still redo that. For me, Ugarte, I like Ugarte. A lot of people, fans are 50-50 on him.
I'm not a fan.
I like him
yeah. You still
personally.
redo it, I guess.
I think it's more the context. Like, he had a bad season at PSG. You could get a little bit off of his value. Like 50 million for Ugarte after a bad season is not
I agree.
the best deal.
I agree, but I'm not saying Ugarte is a bad player. Like,
I'm sure there's potential in
if
there.
we signed, let's say, another CDM in January or in the summer that can complement both Ugarte and Menu, I think they can play together. But like, let's say you have a rotation of all three that could somewhat work. Like Casemiro, sell Casemiro. Let's say and buy someone
Someone
a
wants
more
him.
mobile Casemiro. Because Casemiro's not a bad player. It's just
Oh,
he's
he's a
very
good player.
he can't
He's-
run.
he's
anymore.
done,
He's
unfortunately.
done.
Yeah.
His legs are finished.
I don't know who could be available.
As a CDM,
Yeah, like
it's a
bro,
hard
not
position
much.
nowadays.
Bro, honestly, for real, if Xabi Alonso leaves this summer, I'm going in and rating Leverkusen for almost all their players.
They're gonna say Xabi Alonso come play CDM.
Like,
Yeah, I doubt, but yeah.
like
get him a pair of cleats.
I'm gonna start slow. Sell Dalot to Real Madrid. If they're really offering 45, which I'm reading, sell Dalot to Real Madrid, bring in Frimpong, okay? It
gotta
fits
be
a lot
fake
better.
news.
Fits a lot better in the 5-back. So bring Frimpong. Number one. That's number one thing I do. So your right side, your right wing back is Frimpong, and then Amad Diallo can come play once in a while, or he can play behind the striker also. Number 2, left wing back, obviously Alphonso Davies is number 1 target.
This
Brother,
brother's
dreaming.
just oh my god.
What?
This is like this
Brother
is
doing a FIFA
bro,
rebuild.
you realize that's like
We're
PSG.
Manchester United. This is why Sir Jim Ratcliffe was pissed about the summer, because we're Manchester United. We can sign, and Euro proved it. We can compete against the Real Madrids. We can compete for those signings.
you
and
spend the
we're just
money,
not
yes.
going. Yes, but the owner's willing to spend the money.
That's good.
It's just the strategy involved wasn't good. And then I'm going all out this summer for Florian Wirtz. I'm not kidding.
He's
all
He's not
out.
leaving Germany. He's not leaving Germany. He'd be going to Bayern Munich.
No.
Or Real Madrid. It's one or the other.
But once again,
You want to compete with Real Madrid?
You
be my
have
guest,
to be in those circles. You have to. They might not. I'd rather get rejected than you not even try because you don't even like.
So would you sell Bruno to get Wirtz?
He's thinking about it.
I think they're very similar levels right now. But yes,
Wirtz
I would
is
do
younger.
it because he's 7 years younger or whatever.
Yeah, that does help.
So yes, I would do it. But once again, you have to see. Oh, is Bruno getting like? If someone offers like 70 mil, 80 mil, like yeah, I take it. But if someone's offering 20 mil, no, I'm not selling Bruno.
Obviously not.
So
At that
whatever.
point, you just keep him.
But
Yeah.
if you
There's
guys
more
want to move
clubs than
on,
Manchester United. So
yeah,
other clubs have lost this weekend.
yes,
one big one.
in Serie A, my beloved Milan lost again against Atalanta, who are on a hot streak. Brothers are undefeated in like I don't know how many games, but they completely dominated this game. Raises a lot of questions, and obviously the manager Fonseca is at heat.
Are you ready to give a definitive in or out right now?
It's hard to say because there's so many aspects that aren't going well. Like, just who would you bring in?
You can confidently tell me that this is an improvement on last season or no?
Right now, definitely not.
Okay.
Right, we're out of the Scudetto race. I could say
but
that confidently.
You might
right
not
now.
even be in the top 4 race right now.
I'm afraid not.
Yeah, which is a shame. But I think it's more like this was a conversation Firms and I were having before
camera.
you came, Barbara. It was like this idea that Fonseca doesn't fit the mold of a Serie A manager in the sense that like this at the end of the day, does he garner the same respect as let's say an Italian manager if they were at Milan? Do the ideas align with something that a Milan would play? Like it's a very tough. Like, I wouldn't necessarily sack Fonseca because I do think his philosophies are it works. It's just the players don't work. But if you're going to be a good manager, you play to the strengths of the team and you figure out the weaknesses and you try to mitigate them. He is not mitigating them. He is just full. Like,
I think he's found a couple of like ways to mitigate them. Like Emerson Royale, obviously, he's not that good.
I don't think,
but
that's
he's
mitigating.
used Musa as a help on that right hand side, and it has worked against Real Madrid.
But at the end of the day, that you're handicapping the team because you're using Musa to cover an Emerson Royale.
But I think it raises more like the upper management has failed to give him the tools that he needs. And what I was telling Millie is that right now, if you were to sack him,
Your squad is top 2 or 3 in the league.
I agree. We have one of the best teams in Serie A.
So
yes.
your management's not giving him shit tools.
No, but
This isn't a Manchester United situation where the
What are you
squad
talking about?
compared to your bro, their squad is better than Juve's. Clear of Juve's.
I would say like on the same tier.
Their squad,
maybe a bit
I
better.
would say, is better than Atalanta's.
On paper, like there might be an argument, but Atalanta definitely has a much stronger squad.
If you had to trade in Inter squad for Atalanta's or Milan's, which one are you taking?
Yeah, it's a conversation.
That's a
It's
conversation.
not. I'm taking Milan's team, bro. I might just take Rafael Leao by himself and then sell everyone else and then figure out
That's crazy.
with that money.
I'm biased, so
bro.
I'm obviously gonna say
Leao
Milan,
is
but-
better than any. Like Leao in himself is as unstoppable as, let's say, all of Atalanta's front three combined. If Retegui went to Milan, he'd be on 3 goals or 4 goals.
But that's the issue.
That's
like,
why does that environment at Milan like hinder
Same thing
the
at
abilities
Manchester
of
United.
players? But
So it's pressure.
I don't know, bro.
I don't think
what I was
Fonseca's
You
the right
diagnose your
guy.
own club, bro. I just hate watch every week, bro. I'm not a fan.
What I was saying to Millie is that right now, unless you're going for some world-class, renowned manager, which they won't, you go for an Italian manager, you settle the waters, because right now,
You could have. De Zerbi was available this summer.
De Zerbi is a pretty good option, but compared to Fonseca, they play almost a similar type of way.
Yeah, but one is
very high
known
pressing
in Italy and one
Yes.
is like actually.
That's what I'm
has a
saying.
bad reputation
Right now,
in
I
Italy.
think Milan needs to work on PR, because right now we have every media against us, because obviously everything's micro-analyzed. You get an Italian manager, already the Italians are going to be like, okay, Milan's going back to the Italian ways. Even a Palladino, I was saying. He's a mediocre manager in a grand scheme of things.
No, but it's like Manchester United bringing in Eddie Howe. Even if he's
But it
English,
helps
you're
with-
doomed because
it helps.
No, it doesn't, because you need to have a certain rep within that country. Like De Zerbi is known as like, oh my God, that's the guy who brought Sassuolo and built beautiful
Brighton.
football. Like he could be our savior. Palladino is damage control. You should have just kept Pioli at that point.
No.
I don't know. Palladino's
He's good.
very, very good.
But once again, that name, it doesn't have a name. De Zerbi has a name associated to him.
But we've seen like Inzaghi at Inter, he didn't have a name per se, like a worldwide renowned presence.
They have Beppe Marotta. They're way smarter than anyone else in the league. So that's,
Like it's,
But that's because their upper management is in communication with their
you have
manager.
Zlatan saying, "I am God." Okay, you
Zlatan,
pick you.
I don't think he's making the decisions himself. I think it's
I just don't think it helps having him there. In my opinion, I don't think it helps.
Why?
Because it's another voice in that room that changes the way that
Look, we
Milan
don't know
thinks.
Milan's back room, but yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no way you have Ibrahimovic there lurking around just talking. Like he has to have.
I don't
some
know. I'm reserving my judgment on the management right now, but I think Fonseca, there's obviously questions. I just don't see who the replacement is. Unless you go for like a Sarri just because he's Italian.
No.
Like I get.
So who?
That's the
who's a-
thing.
Sergio Conceição, I feel like that's
No.
experimental
You would scratch your eyeballs out watching his team play.
also.
So no.
But tell me, like,
Bro, like Thiago Motta was right there.
okay,
bro.
but that's
Thiago
done.
Motta for
The
me
ship
is
has
like-
sailed.
Yeah, the ship
And to
has
be
sailed.
honest, that's exactly what I was telling him. Thiago Motta doesn't get the same stick as
Yes.
Fonseca because he's Italian.
Yes,
No.
That's the only
Yes.
reason. Yes.
But once again, like I said with De Zerbi, he doesn't get the same stick because he's seen as like the next one up.
Yes, but at the end of the day,
Palladino's not viewed in the same light as Thiago Motta was or De Zerbi
Yeah,
was.
but
So that
then
wouldn't bring not a solution.
yeah, but Juve's looked at as they're not looked at as an Italian superpower right now. They're looked at as like a developing, like rebuilding giant, and Thiago Motta is going to be at the helm of this rebuild. Like he's given way more slack, in my opinion, than Fonseca. Which Fonseca, like he caught Milan at a bad time because you caught the end of Pioli that Like his philosophy was pretty much stretched out to the end.
Completely different.
And then it's
completely
like
different
you're stuck with a squad that obviously needs to be rejuvenated, obviously needs to be more formed to his ideas and his philosophies, and it's just like he's in a transition time. Thiago Motta's in a transition time, but one is looked at as a rebuild. Like we're gonna start from scratch. We're gonna build it up with Italian youth and whatever. And the other one is, well, listen, you have decent players on that Milan squad. You kind of have to make Champions League, whatever. And if you don't, you're a bad manager.
Once again, it's all PR. It's all PR in my opinion.
I do. Do I think Fonseca was the right move for Milan? No, I don't. I don't necessarily think it was the right move. I
Still
see the
reserving my
vision.
judgment, but
I think he's okay, but for Milan, considering where they were 2-3 years ago, like you're
it's a step down, maybe.
It's a step down, but again, it's a cycle. You're at the end of that.
I can't even imagine
cycle.
how bad it would be right now if you had Lopetegui. I can't
Forget
even imagine.
Lopetegui, bro. That
would have been so funny.
But you see, like
that would have been so great for content.
that would have been a haywatch, bro.
That would have been so great.
That would have been a Milan rebuild right away.
They signed Lopetegui, and Lopetegui does bad. Is that like it's obviously Lopetegui's fault? But who got him there in the first place?
Oh, that's like Ineos with Dan Ashworth.
You know what I mean? So it's obviously the management that's
Yes, but once again, if you sacked Fonseca, it's still the right decision because Fonseca deserves to be sacked.
I don't
Once
think
again, I think he deserves to be
He
sacked. But
deserves to be sacked.
No, because Atalanta beats every team in Serie A, in my
Teo's
opinion.
playing the worst football he's ever played in his career.
but Rangers is playing his best.
Yeah.
Pulisic is playing his best.
But last year you were creaming over Reindeers either way, so it really doesn't look like any.
Not as
We're
much. I
ripping-
think he-
we're ripping the shit out of him, low key.
Who?
Us.
Yeah, you two.
Yeah,
Well,
we're,
yeah,
we're
but it's
ripping.
not my
actually.
fault. He's a little bitch. But
Yeah, it's
Oh my god.
2 tackles or 3 tackles.
It's not my fault he plays at Milan, bro. Obviously, I'm gonna hate watch.
But on the other hand,
3 tackles, bro.
still
Same amount
scoring
of
the goals,
tackles
bro.
as Francesco Camarda, bro.
Crazy work.
he's holding that as a trophy, brother.
I know, it's crazy.
Crazy.
I
But,
do think Milan, like, it's a step back, but I don't. It's weird. It's weird. I feel like you guys are like in a purgatory state right now.
Bro, go
Yeah.
get like a Marco Silva at Fulham.
No,
But that's experimental again. I'm telling you, get an Italian manager and write it out.
Bro, Marco Silva's good, bro. That's an experienced manager. It's it.
But what's the experience? He has the same experience as Fonseca.
No, he doesn't.
But
What are you talking
I'm
about?
sorry,
Marco
Fulham?
Silva has been way better, bro. His teams wherever he's gone has been good.
Yeah, but Milan don't like. I don't know. Fulham to Milan is a monster jump.
No, it's not. In terms of player quality right now, no, it's not.
Are you crazy?
A lot more pressure. A lot
Fulham and
more
Milan?
pressure.
Bro, there might be more players in Fulham starting 11 that start at like in the combined 11.
That's crazy to say.
It's not
So you're saying
crazy.
Fulham has a better team than Juventus?
They might, yeah. Bro, but I've said this. Fulham might finish like Juve would not finish.
This is just because he has Iwobi on FPL, by the way.
Bro, I've said this.
I'm not trading Bowen for Iwobi.
I've said this multiple times that Juve don't finish in the top 6 of the Prem or top 7 or 8 in the Prem. I've said this multiple times for multiple years, bro.
Fulham does?
Yeah, Fulham is in the top 8 right now.
But you think they'll finish top 6?
Yes, I love Fulham. I like Fulham's team.
Pala was here, he would bet. He would put some money on that.
Oh yeah. Like this would have been a whole argument
But
conversation.
on the other side, Atalanta, they're playing insane. I have a question for you guys. Is Atalanta the most underrated team in the world right now?
You gotta say so, no?
Top of Serie A, one of the best strike forces in all the top 5 leagues right now. I think you have to put them in that conversation. Is yes, they are probably the most underrated team in Europe, probably the world.
Everything's clicking. They got Lukman scoring goals. They got Chaz de Catalere scoring goals. Retegui's on fire. Brother, this is an actual team that could challenge for the Serie A.
Everything's just clicking perfectly for Atalanta and Gasperini. He has that team firing on all cylinders. I don't know what they're doing in that locker room. I don't know what juice they're drinking in there.
Gasperini juice.
But they are absolutely cooking, and they are looking dominant in every game that they're playing. The attacking threat that they have is, I would say, only Inter rivals them.
I'm kind of looking at the teams. I'm kind of looking at teams like Ten Hag's Ajax, and I'm seeing kind of like vibes like that where I low-key see them going deep in Champions League too.
I don't.
They could be a surprise.
Yeah, I do think they could definitely qualify. They're definitely on that track.
Which team can you definitely put above Atalanta right now?
In Serie A?
In the world, I'm saying Liverpool might be the only team right now that you can confidently say going into
No.
a round of 16 or saying that they definitely would beat them.
But that's the thing about Atalanta. Like they could come up swinging and they could beat like I don't know, against the Liverpool a couple of years ago. They'd beat them
Last year, but
It's come-
Klopp's Liverpool's not the same. But yeah,
but crazy performance considering Atalanta.
This season, Inter beat them 4-0.
Yeah, they
So-
have these swings.
But right now, I think they're like on a 9-game win streak. Like
Maybe even more.
I mean, we're
they're
gonna see
insane.
them. We're gonna see them play Real Madrid like just
Big litmus test.
Tuesday, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So later today, as you guys are seeing this, they're going to be playing Real Madrid. I think they're going to beat Real Madrid.
Beat?
Yeah, I'm not even going to lie.
I don't know.
And I'm a Madridista stand up, but Madrid, a team like Atalanta, that's going to be a tough out.
I don't think they're ready for an Atalanta right now. Like, it's weird because I don't think there's a La Liga team that kind of compares with an Atalanta. They are
Madrid are not ready for the mighty Atalanta.
no, and
The heavy man-to-man marking.
Yes. Like, I do think
it's not common in La Liga.
You give Lookman like an ounce. You give him a bit of space, he'll make something happen.
Same thing with Vinicius on the other side, though.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's where Madrid are just going to have to just keep pressing, get the ball to Vinny, get the ball to anyone that could score. Because Atalanta, you give them a bit of breathing room, they're going to do something.
And if I'm a major club, I'm looking at Gasperini. I'm like, if I need a manager right now, I'm looking at Gasperini and I'm saying, can this man be one of the top 5 managers in world football?
I don't think
He's got the
there.
CV, brother.
He really doesn't. Like he just
For
has-
Atalanta, Europa
Yes,
League?
Atalanta, but he goes anywhere else, it doesn't work.
He's one of those. It's like Pep. Every single player that comes through there plays the best football of their career. It's crazy.
It just
Am I
everything
lying?
just works.
No, it's true.
Every
Every
single
Atalanta
one.
player.
because every player that's
almost
left
every-
Atalanta has been almost
Every
a flop.
single player that goes to Atalanta plays the peak football of their career.
Yeah.
And then pretty much they all flop after.
Yes.
It's true.
So
Well, I saw-
going back to a Milan should be on their knees for Gasperini to join the club.
I don't think he'd ever make that move. I think he's just too he's too ingrained
It
in
depends.
Atalanta.
You need to give him certain reservations. Like you will have say over transfers, or he doesn't have say at transfers over Atalanta right now, so I wouldn't give that. But you have to give him certain. And look, a paycheck definitely helps if you double or triple his salary.
But you see, like, I was seeing this thing on Twitter that basically in 2015 or 2014, whenever he joined, Atalanta was like 17th, and they climbed the table, and they were about to be relegated, to be honest. And it just happened that Gasperini came in as this like unknown manager. These are the gambles you take. Italian managers, he knows the league. I mean, Milan should copy that a
Inter,
little
by
bit.
the way.
Yes,
Flop that
but you
Inter.
can't
Yeah.
judge someone by one flop. Ancelotti flopped at Everton. Real Madrid still went to go get him for a second time, and they won Champions League.
And that's why you put him 8th tier, right?
But if imagine we did that,
I remember that video. I remember that video. You saying, "Yeah, but what about his Everton stint?"
Yeah, but
what about his Napoli stint?
imagine we did the tier list of Ancelotti
Gasperini?
right after his Everton stint. Brother would be cooked.
Yes,
taxed.
brother would be cooked.
So
Where
you
would
can't
you
you
put-
can't judge managers by one stint.
Where would you put Gasperini on that tier list?
Probably
I think
B,
it warrants him a B.
Like
right
a
now.
low B.
higher than Arteta.
Low key, yeah, because Atalanta play very, very good football.
Well, Atalanta,
They're
Arsenal,
very-
didn't
they're
they tie
entertaining.
1-1? I believe they
Yeah,
tied.
they tied.
recently, like in maybe a couple.
They tied,
of
and
months ago.
Arsenal players were a little shocked of how well
It's
Atalanta
true.
were playing.
Who was it? Declan Rice saying that.
wow, we don't really play
man-to-man
man like that, like Atalanta did.
Yeah.
Little-
Listen, I think Atalanta's cooking. Very underrated team.
I'm calling it a Champions League semi-finalist this year.
But no, bro. Okay, okay.
I'm calling
I
it,
get
I'm
it. I
calling
love
it.
the enthusiasm. It's great, but at the end of the day, Atalanta, like they're still playing pretty much the same amount of games as an Inter, who has a deeper squad.
Atalanta would beat a Bayern Munich over 2 legs right now. Atalanta would beat a PSG over 2 legs.
I listen. I think people are starting to now realize how good Atalanta is, but to say that they would beat giants in Europe, it's like it's tough. I do think they'll play.
They're still an underdog.
I think they'll play a very good game against Real Madrid. It'll be close. But you have to wait till near like later stages of the season. Let's say they go deep in a Champions League, or let's say they're still in that Serie A title race. They're gonna have to kind of make a decision personnel wise and say, okay, which one are we focusing on?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the legs.
Yeah, they do. They have.
I don't think so.
Even just adding like a Kusono from Bayer
Yes.
Leverkusen, like that's an insane upgrade in my opinion in
Yes,
defense.
but Atalanta have been known to make these shrewd transfers. That like when they picked up a Retegui, I was like, that's a decent
I don't trust
signing.
it, but
that I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Or like a Scamacca, I don't know, but I could see it working out.
At the end of the year, when those games are in Champions League happening, Scamacca is going to be back from injury. So then you have Retegui and Scamacca.
Scalvini
Scalvini's
back
just
as well.
back.
Yeah.
Scalvini, and he's basically playing now.
I'm gonna say it. I think for Serie A right now, Atalanta and Inter are the contenders. I think
You have to
Napoli
pick
can't
one
keep it
to
up.
win. Who would you say?
I think Inter, unfortunately.
I'm going to go Atalanta. Why not? I know I said
switching it?
Napoli all season, but Napoli.
Stinks.
They play
I still think they're
scrappy.
I still think they're clear. There's a top 3 in Serie A, and it's clear. but I'm going to switch to Atalanta.
Listen, Napoli, now they have no choice but to go all in on Serie A because they lost in the Coppa Italia.
Yeah.
Which was like such a cop-out. Like I honestly, because I could be mistaken, but when I saw the lineup for that game,
They
I think
played their entire second team.
whole second team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is Conte really throwing
Yeah,
Coppa Italia?
but then they played Lazio again on the
They lost.
weekend
Yes.
and they lost with their full first
with their
team,
full first
so-
team. So it's like, was it really worth it?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter. You could have still been in Coppa Italia at least, but
So you're sticking to Inter?
I'm gonna have to because I do think that we
Jinxed.
have
Jinxed. Clipped, exported. Yeah, knock on wood.
knocked on wood. Wood has been
Knock
knocked
on wood.
But Atalanta's going to be up there with
Audio
Inter.
listeners have no idea what's happening.
They have no idea where you're
Knocking on his cock. Anyways,
Crazy work.
do I think Atalanta could definitely be up there? I think they'll make Champions League. They'll definitely
Not a
make
shadow
Champions
of
League.
doubt.
Oh,
Bro,
that's a crazy shout,
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah.
hot take.
Hot take, bro.
This guy decided to come out with sizzling hot takes.
Top two, maybe. Top two, we'll
Top
see.
two. I think they're contending.
Definitely contending.
But let's
There's other leagues other than Serie A.
yeah, let's move on to other leagues. Not a good day for the Barcelona fans, let's say.
As we said.
I mean, Hansi Flick was saying,
Unfortunately.
thank goodness November's over because we got to get into the December games, hope for a fresh start. But I mean,
don't know
that
what's happening.
Betis 2-2.
Dominant. Betis deserved 3 points here.
Oh, boy.
Deserved.
I think that's a little
clearly
contested.
deserved.
Is that a rage
No,
bait?
that's not even contested. That's not. You can't contest it. Even Barca fans will tell you.
I think Flick knew it. Yeah, no. I think it
told
wasn't a
you
good game.
overcoached.
Barca
I think.
fans, once again, I said, don't celebrate titles in November. The titles are not won in November.
They're still leading La Liga, though.
Yeah, but
So-
Real Madrid have a game in hand, and
They
it's
do have a game in
closing,
hand.
bro. It's
Catching up.
closing very quickly. It's closing, especially if you keep dropping points like this.
And low-key, Real Madrid slowly putting everything together a little bit more. I'm not saying
Domestically.
yes, domestically. But we'll see this week in Champions League. But like they're slowly kind of getting back into it. I'm not saying that they're world beaters still, but listen, Barcelona, I don't really know what's
wasn't a
happening.
great
There was a
performance.
lot of times where the Barca's defense got caught really, really badly, where it's like they were all behind Real Betis players, and I was like, "What is happening?" And they were onside. I'm like, "What the hell is happening here?" But listen, the players that need to produce and need to score, they're scoring.
That's
Like,
what
that's the
Lamine Yamal,
problem.
masterclass, man of the match as per usual. Lewandowski's still scoring.
Lewandowski's still
Rafinha?
still insane.
You didn't play.
No, you
got
played.
No, he
subbed
did
off.
play.
You got subbed
Subbed
off.
Subbed off. But I don't know what it is. Is it a midfield problem? Is it a defending problem? Like, it could just be that the Flick is playing a little too much, like too risky,
Progressive.
little too progressive, a little too high up, and they're just getting caught. But I mean, as a manager, you kind of have to understand. Okay, well, if we're making mistakes like this, is this something that like we kind of need to adjust at?
I don't know what it is. Real Betis also played good. Like, let's
but
give
bro,
credit to them.
You're getting scored on by Giovanni Lo
Lo
Celso
Celso.
in 2024.
It's a penalty.
You're getting scored on by Giovanni. I don't give a shit.
The only
how
reason
it
why
is,
he's
to be
scoring is a penalty. I'm
honest. I don't even
sorry.
give a shit how it is, to be honest. You're getting scored on by in 2024.
Score sheet still says Lo
Yeah.
Celso on it.
Bro, you're
I don't know, bro.
fouling Vitor Roque, who's supposedly not good enough to play for you.
Didn't play well.
Didn't play well. Got a pen. Literally got a pen for his team.
Apart from that,
Okay, sure. Rage bait.
Rage
But Betis dominated from minute 1 to minute 90 in this game. Barcelona falling off
tired
a cliff.
legs.
I
Could
say
be
we
tired
do
legs.
power rankings this week, actually. I say you switch
No,
this up
I
to power.
say we delay
Barcelona,
it.
you are out of my top 10.
That's
what's
crazy.
funny is that every time we do power rankings, Barcelona loses the game
drop a
before.
stinker.
So you guys, it gives you guys the reason to drop them like a couple of.
Because they're not
Spots.
as good, bro. They're really not as good as people make it seem to be.
They are still very, very good. Wait till
Atalanta
these Champions
versus
League games.
Barcelona. If it was a Champions League round of 16 tomorrow, which one are you picking? Easily
Barcelona.
Atalanta. Easily Atalanta. Easily.
But you caught them at the worst form, and Atalanta in the best form.
We're going to
That's-
see. Atalanta's going to play Real Madrid
It's a litmus.
Literally
as
litmus
they're
test.
listening today.
Yeah.
That's a little tough. But now Real Madrid on the other side.
Yeah, 3-0 dominant win as per usual. Just another week in La Liga for Real Madrid.
Girona, by the way.
Barca dropped points. Real Madrid Champions League team.
Yeah, you keep parading that
Champions
around.
League team, by the way.
Like 33rd.
Crazy.
But this was a Jude Bellingham masterclass, as per usual. It's getting kind of consistent.
Do you guys think Jude Bellingham is going back to the underrated status?
I don't think underrated, but definitely becoming Real Madrid's
I
most
think people who
consistent player.
know, know. And this brother's like the closest. No, because
What does that mean?
no, because a lot of
Those
people.
who
Do I know?
No.
People who are watching Real Madrid every week, it's easy to get sucked into the Mbappes and the Vinnies, but
Yeah.
people who really know how that team is working, they know Jude Bellingham is him. Like he might actually be the player this season so far for Real Madrid. Not crazy to say.
I don't think it's crazy to say at all.
Trying to think.
There's no other midfielder that's playing as consistently as him. Like Valverde, let's say it's like.
And he didn't have a break this summer either.
He didn't have a break. Yeah, it
went to the final of the Euros, straight back into the new season, and he's still dominating.
I don't think you have anyone on that defensive line that you could comfortably say has been the best this season. Like even Rudiger, unfortunately, he's been holding it down.
I think he's done pretty well,
but it's still still very shaky.
Real Madrid fans were attacking me on the Discord for saying that Asensio is not Giroud. I think I said Getafe level player, brother. Tchouaméni walked into the center back and there was 3-0. Like once again proving that he's a good player, but let's calm down here. And I've been seeing rumors that Asensio is going to get sold with a buyback clause this winter or summer.
So it's like a sold loan.
It's going to be like how Dani Carvajal got sold to Leverkusen and then got bought back by Real Madrid.
Yeah, I see that.
So if he turns out to be good, amazing. Real Madrid have another Spanish player that they'll have there for a decade. They don't have many Spanish players, so they'll have another Spanish player there for a decade, and they'll play well. But I just don't see it with this.
You don't see the hype?
No, I don't see the hype. But
no, I saw that too.
Like he's Sergio Ramos 2.0.
They were discussing him.
I think that's crazy.
But that's what, I'm not. That's not me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what the
the
community is saying. Yes, exactly.
Literally firsthand.
Yeah.
On the Discord, but I don't know. I feel like Real Madrid's going back to the winning ways.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
One thing that was interesting to me is Arda Güler started this match and scored. So one question I have for you guys is, should Arda Güler be starting every single match for Real Madrid?
I think so. I think he's a top player. I think he's warranted a start, let's just say.
Ancelotti needs to get away from these, play the vets, play the consistent guys that you've had for a couple years now. Get Arda Güler in there. That's pretty much your best youth prospect right now, pretty much.
But how do you drop a Rodrigo, a Vini, or an Mbappe for Arda Güler?
Rodrigo has not been anything of the sort this season. He has not been up to par, in my opinion. Arda Güler deserves the shot to be that man, especially for Real Madrid. At his age, the sky's the limit, pretty much. And he's showing that he has the ability to do it.
I agree.
He had something defensively, and he's a lot better defensively than I thought he would be. Where compared to I don't know, it's tough because he's kind of playing in the same position as Jude Bellingham. Like he's kind of competing with the Jude Bellinghams, and like you can't not play Brahim Diaz also. So like, Brahim Diaz has a reason to play also this season.
Yes, he's clutch. Brahim Diaz has been clutch in moments, but that's a player that you take off the bench 70th, 75th minute.
And where does Endrick come into all this? Because
I think Endrick can't find space.
He can't find space. He's
but that's
too
a
young.
60 million player. Like it's not just
But he knows the process of getting into this Real Madrid team. It wasn't gonna be a for sure start. He needs to integrate, just like Arda Güler did. But I think Arda Güler's at that point where he's showing he could score. He's showing that he fits the system. I think it's more of a matter of finding the position. You drop Bellingham maybe more defensively. You put Arda Güler in that cam position.
But once again, you're dropping your player of the season so far.
No, not dropping on the bench.
No, I know. Defensively.
You're
making
your
top player right now because you're trying to fit in this 19-year-old player.
But I think that's how good he is. He's good.
I don't know. I don't think he's that good. That good.
No, he could definitely. He has the potential to be there. It's a question of can Real Madrid. Can they rush? Like, do they want to rush the process? I'm studying my words here, but like,
that's how good he is.
It's more like, do you want to force the progression of these players? Do you want to give them time to get into the system, actually play well? But at his age, what he's done with Turkey as well, he deserves. He has every reason to start, in my opinion. At least for a couple games, see what he actually has.
Especially given all the games that Real Madrid plays, like this is the chance to play the youth like Arda Güler and actually have him score a couple goals here and there because his value is just going up. I don't know why he's linked to loans to Serie A clubs.
No, I've been reading Endrick on loan, but
that I could see.
Yeah, but Ancelotti said today he's not going on loan.
Well, obviously Endrick's that type of guy where you keep in the training sessions playing with some of the best players in the world. Yes, like you could see that maybe he's going to get given way more opportunity to progress and actually grow as a player. But playing time, like these players need playing time. Endrick, I don't see it unless he's getting 15 minutes off the bench with Real Madrid already up in a comfortable lead. Like Endrick is not a decisive player right now, in my opinion.
I didn't even mention him, but like a Valverde, a Modric, like Camavinga, like these are Look, obviously Valverde is not a 1-for-1 switch with Arda Güler, but he might have to play some games in that more advanced role that Arda Güler may find himself in. So for me, I don't know. I don't think Arda Güler is a starter in my Madrid 11. Personally.
Already yet.
It's tough. I think with Ancelotti there, it's very tough to find, like, to have youngsters actually find comfortable starting spots, unless like it's an injury crisis, like with Asensio in the back line. Only reason why he's playing really is because of an injury crisis. So, I mean, we'll see with him. I do think that he's going to be given more opportunities as the season goes on, but time's ticking this season, honestly. Like, we're pretty much at the halfway point. He needs more playing time.
And listen, hopefully he gets to play tomorrow, or today actually, because this is released on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, Atalanta. Should we go through a Champions League prediction?
We teased it a bit, so I already said Atalanta's going to win. I think it's
Atalanta
going to
win?
be 2-1.
For Atalanta?
Yeah, Retegi's going to score against the mighty Madrid, but I think honestly, like, Madrid, this year's not your. I don't know. It's tough to say because Madrid, we say this every year in CL and then they end up winning it. But I feel like it's actually, this year does not feel like it's the year for Madrid in Champions League.
For some reason, I'm leaning towards Real Madrid just because of if Vinicius plays, I think he's going to be the decider in this game. Because getting man-marked by someone like Jim City, he's smoking him. I'm sorry. There's no other world where Jim City
match. It's just going to be very physical.
Yeah, but the ball has to get to Vinny.
Yeah.
As long as you get the ball to Vinny, brother, he's going to cook Jim City every single time. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go like a 3-2 Real Madrid.
I think Gasperini has shown in these bigger games where it's like he overthinks it, where it's like he tries way too many things, and then Atalanta kind of get a little confused, and you don't see that they're holding their shape well. So it's like, I do think Real Madrid are going to come into this mentally stronger. I think
Atalanta's on fire. So.
Off the rip right now, like they're 9 games unbeaten or whatever, like 9 wins in a row or whatever the stat is. So it's like they're coming in with a ton of confidence. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they think they could beat Real Madrid, but
where is it?
I don't know.
Atalanta or it's?
That I'm not sure.
It's in Bergamo.
It's
Atalanta.
in Bergamo? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
At home.
I mean, it's been a fortress, I think.
Tell that to an Atalanta fan a decade ago. Yeah, Madrid's coming over in CL.
Yeah.
I was...
They're in Serie B like 15 years ago.
And people are predicting you to win.
Yeah.
Bro, what a move up.
I don't know if I'll say they'll win, but like I'll probably go like 2-1 Real.
But the fact that we're debating it, that's what's crazy. Like,
I know.
This is what I'm supposed to be saying about Milan. Like, against Real Madrid, Real Madrid, I remember I was like, oh, they're smoking us. We ended up winning, but I'm still like, I was...
Yeah, you knew
an Atalanta fan is saying, yo, we have a chance.
There's a chance.
Bro, these guys were about to get relegated in like 2016.
Yeah, but
the move...
Tide turns.
Like, Atalanta's quickly becoming one of my second favorite Serie A teams because the way they move is crazy.
Imagine like a Marotta behind with an Atalanta.
What do you mean? Well,
like imagine having Marotta at Atalanta.
What's his name? Percassi?
Yes.
That guy's a Marotta.
He's like a Marotta light version. Low key.
It's the sporting director, I believe.
If Marotta needs to give the keys to someone,
give it to him.
Give it to him.
But next game up is Leverkusen Inter.
Yeah.
Really, what's your thoughts on this one?
Listen, Inter with a win this weekend versus Parma.
Well, let's be real, this is going to be the sloppiest 0-0 of all time.
This I do have a feeling it's going to... Inter, I think for the last 4 games in a row in Champions League have been 1-0 wins. So
it's away from home, so...
Yeah, we're not a high-scoring team in the Champions League, which is shocking to me because just last year we either broke the record or almost broke the record for most goals in a season for Inter. Mm-hmm. So it was like... It's very difficult for me to say that, like, yeah, we're going to definitely win this game. I think Leverkusen just beat Bayern as well. So it's just...
They play similar to you, like that total football that they move players around, they move the ball around a lot. Same formation.
I'm saying Thiago Motta might send a cease and desist letter at halftime to both of the teams for stealing the terrorist ball that we're about to experience.
Oh my goodness! I don't think it's going to be terrorism. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's
so.
The 0-0 that we're about to experience
it's like a
rival
midfield
the prime Thiago Motta ball that we're experiencing.
It's going to be one of those games that like football aficionados will enjoy.
Yeah, the tacticals, as Paolo would say.
The tacticals.
With a cigar and cognac, you enjoy that. I don't know. I'm going to say 1-0 Inter. We've just been very consistent. Haven't conceded yet, but...
I'm going 0-0.
That's a knock on wood situation.
Knocking on wood, Spotify listeners.
Knock on wood situation.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 Leverkusen. Wirtz has been on fire. man of the match for a couple of games in the Champions League, so he's going to be the deciding goal.
Cooked Milan.
Cooked Milan, cooked everyone.
Oh man, made you guys look like a brisket. My goodness.
I don't know. That game was actually closer than it looked, but he was the man of the match.
We watched that game. We watched that game together.
We didn't watch it, yeah.
You got cooked.
No, we didn't. Next game up, Juventus City. Pala's not here to say it, but actually he texted us. Oh, he said 0-0. That was his prediction.
Now
Juventus
that is
City.
Thiago Motta terrorismo right there.
Yeah, but if he thinks that City is not scoring against this Juve defense with no Cambiaso, no Savona, no
Everyone's injured,
no
I believe.
Bremer.
Yeah.
Brother, this is gonna be Haaland is that
Visesh?
thing that Haaland's are gonna do to the. Like,
I don't think so.
This should
Haaland-
not be allowed to be shown on television.
No, but Haaland struggles with multiple defenders around him. Like
Multiple
Juve's not
Bugatti?
scoring. Juve's not scoring.
brother, this
Well, I'll tell
game
you
might
that right now.
game you might have to watch through Live Leak. This game
Oh man,
It's live leaked.
where
like it's just like blacklisted.
all
like,
the videos that are taken off the internet because
Yeah, yeah.
they're too gory and everything.
Yeah,
God, bro.
This is like the Thiago Motta. Like Juve's not scoring. Well, let's just call that. Vlahovic will be playing.
Oh yeah, Juve's a 0. It's just
Yeah.
I'm deciding the other number.
Exactly. Yeah, Vlahovic will be playing. If you see his heat map, he will be playing defensive midfielder.
Did you
That's
see
what it is.
Saka's heat map? Saka's
the corner.
The reddest part is the corner because he takes so many corners during the game.
At first, I thought that was a meme, but then
It's not.
I realized that's actually a heat map.
Yes.
Because he's actually on the corner flag.
Exactly.
You know?
So get ready for Vlahovic's heat map. He's going to be playing central
be on the
defensive
bench.
midfielder. So I don't. It's 0 for Juve. Just matter
how
of
many,
How bad
twos
this
matter
game?
of City. I'm not.
I
not-
think Erling Haaland hat trick. I'm going 3-0.
that's crazy. I think that's a little disrespectful to Juve and Thiago
Who gonna
Motta.
stop him?
There's no Millie. Name me their back line.
Right now, I can't tell you. Right now, I can't tell you.
It's gonna be Kalulu Gatti and then figure out everyone else.
Cambiaso got injured too.
Cambiaso's injured as well, so I don't.
God.
Savona's injured. I don't know. I think Savona's injured.
No,
I think
Savona
Paolo
came
mentioned
on.
something about Savona injury.
I'd have to check. I don't remember
I
specifically.
don't know. But Man City has been leaky in defense. I just
Yeah,
don't
but
see who's going to score the goals.
Who's scoring?
Chico Cotzesao.
Chico Cotzesao is going to have most of the ball.
The pitbull.
The pitbull.
I'll go 2-0 City. I
I
think Juve
think-
still keeps somewhat in a nice
respect.
scoreline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their dignity.
Yeah, I think so. It's one of those scorelines where you see like in 5 years, it was close.
Yeah, it's close. Look at the XG, bro.
Close.
Anyways, last one we'll do is Dortmund Barcelona. This is actually a pretty cool game because I don't know, Barcelona bad form, Dortmund I think good form. The past 2 games at least.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but apparently
good
not
enough
worth
to
it.
make power rankings for Palace. So.
I don't think people are saying Frankfurt better.
But
so.
Dortmund fans agreed that they are on good form.
But
so
look, recent years, Dortmund have low-key aura in CL. I can't cap.
they've been having.
I
it,
can't
bro.
cap.
The yellow
and
wall.
what football does Hansi Flick very similarly play? German football. So I don't
Okay,
think
good
that
pass.
they're not playing a team that they haven't seen before.
That's the thing. It's
I
true.
think
Hansi Flick knows.
Barca is playing a team that they might not have played someone like them. Like a Dortmund, you don't find teams like that in La Liga.
Yeah, but
Brother,
Hansi
it's
Flick knows
Hansi
about
Flick,
him.
the manager.
Yes, but the players themselves will not be used to having that high pressure intensity pressing.
What do you mean?
That the German
beat
side
Bayern.
plays
Didn't they just beat
against.
Bayern? Yeah, exactly. They beat Bayern like
Smoke
cooked
Yes,
them.
but Bayern got chances. Like Harry Kane did not. That,
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a couple other bounces, and that game's not 4-0 Barca that it ended or whatever.
I mean,
Highline masterclass.
like that
Lamine
game
Yamal's
against
still there,
Madrid, they won
Lewandowski's still there.
4-0, but it wasn't a 4-0.
I could see Dortmund scoring this game. I think it's going to be maybe like a 2-1 or a 3-1 for Barcelona.
I'm going Dortmund win 2-1. Guirassy brace. That's what I'm
Guirassy?
doing. Guirassy brace, bro.
No,
He's been tearing
wow.
it up in the Bundesliga this season.
I know, but you got to go with the Adayemis. We're going to run behind that line.
No,
in my opinion.
Guirassy. Dortmund fans know Guirassy been a baller.
He is a baller. It was linked to Milan, but we went with Abraham and Morata.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, let's say, 3-1 Barcelona. I think the one goal from Dortmund is going to be Adeyemi on a fast break. He beats the high line. and
Adeyemi's the
goes
type
away.
to beat the high line and then trip. Like,
Yes. I
because he
know.
tied his shoes together or something.
Bro, he's
like
so
that.
fast, though.
Yes.
He's crazy fast.
Yeah.
Might be the fastest in the world. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's faster, bro?
Chico
Mbappe
Cotzesao.
prime. I don't know now about
Okay,
now, but
prime.
Vinny's faster than Adeyemi.
Vinny is fast. I forgot about him.
You've never
Yeah.
seen a Chico Contesao game.
Bro, he runs like this. That's how.
Bro, Timo Werner.
Timo
He's
Werner very
fast too.
fast.
Yeah.
But Walker made him look fast. Let's just say.
Well, Walker,
Yes.
not anymore. Jeremy
Shame.
Frimpong.
He's up there.
But, yeah, whatever. CL's going to be exciting this week.
Sales Azuvi this week, but those
As-
are our predictions.
As there's less games, like now all these games mean like
Bro, if
a lot
Madrid
more.
lose, if
They're
Madrid
cooked.
lose,
They're
you're
cooked.
actually looking at like
Like
maybe not
maybe a
even making the
playoff.
playoff.
That's
Bro,
bad.
if they make a playoff, they're still cooked because you're going to be facing.
Well, no.
Yes, because
But you're still playing Madrid.
you're playing 2 more games or a game more than everyone else that makes top
Yeah,
8.
but they can still draw someone like a Sporting who right now is in terrible form since Amorim left. And
Who would've thought?
Me, Real Madrid, Gyökeres, obviously, son of Amorim, by the way. Now that it's exposing him, but a lot of Sporting fans already want their new manager sacked. I've been seeing
Who is do you know the new manager?
João Pereira, I think he's
João
called. He
Neves.
was the
That sounds like a Portuguese. No, that's like a Portuguese name generator.
that's an interim manager if I've ever heard of
João
it.
Pereira.
Pereira.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a couple of movies.
We're missing Man United in the CL this year, so
Who you guys play in what are you, conference?
Europa.
Europa?
Conference Europa. Same,
I think we
same
play,
Thing for us.
Garbage to me.
Something glimped.
I don't even give a shit, bro. To be honest,
You don't know your
That's
Thursday
crazy.
fixture?
bro, you think I keep?
Bro,
I know we play
that
on
should be
Thursday. I
circled
turn
on
on
your
and I'm,
calendar.
I'm figuring out which team. If I had to guess, it's Rangers. If I had to guess,
Rangers.
Just random guess?
yeah. But I think that's the guess. I think it
mean,
is Rangers.
Well, we're gonna have to fact check that a little later, but we'll make sure to talk about it on the next podcast, right, Varvar?
yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, Amorim will be cooking. But we're probably going to be discussing our Sunday game against Manchester City next podcast. But yeah, we'll speak
Yeah.
about that Rangers game also.
And now we're gonna go into our Patreon, and we're gonna be giving, we're gonna be listening to your hot takes, and we're gonna be
Yes.
ranking them. So if you guys want to check that out, our Patreon is always linked down below.
Yep.
We cook up every week.
Yeah.
We've been trying to do something
New.
different every week.
Yeah.
And then seeing what people like. And then, because obviously we want to listen to the viewers, the people, our patrons pretty much, and then see what they like, see what they don't like. So
And the best part is communicating with you guys on Discord. So it's
Yeah.
literally a direct conversation.
you literally tell
I'm
us.
literally talking to
You
you.
literally tell us how bad Varvar's takes are.
Agreed. From ZFC, ball knowledge falling off apparently.
Obviously has off a cliff.
Anyways, if you guys have any last
I think
words,
we're good.
All right.
We're good to go.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the Patreon, or we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Ciao.